How you doing? This is Dr. Ed Gray. Today, because of the topic of what I'll be talking about today, which is the commercialization of black folk and Jack Daniels and Uncle Nearest. That's right, I said it. The commercialization of black folk and Jack Daniel and Uncle Nearest. I've decided to go ahead and do this lecture and this talk at the kitchen table at this time of the day, because I didn't want you guys to think that I just woke up in the morning time and just started drinking, because that's not what I do. But what I wanted to do is just bring forth a situation in which black folk in America have always been commercial products. Commercial products in the case of Jack Daniel. Jack Daniel is a liquor that is being made in Lynchburg, Virginia, and is known worldwide as one of the best Tennessee sipping liquors in the world. And it was made by a black man. It was created by a black man. His name was Uncle Nathan Nearest. That's right, Nathan Nearest. So, you know, that's what we're going to be talking about. Is it's about him. Nathan Nearest Green was his full name. And the whole way in which we got his name is unique in itself, because it was about commercialization again. So if you're at home right now and you just got off work, you'd like to join me for a drink, let's go ahead and do it. We used to do that during the pandemic, you remember? When we had virtual happy hours. So I have my stick and I have my drink. Here we go. Man, ice cube. You know, this is live when ice just falls out of your mouth and everything. I'm not going to take that back, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is have another sip. Nathan Nearest Green was born in Maryland. And he was born in Maryland and he moved, or he was transported to Tennessee. And in Tennessee, he was loaned out by the Green firm. And I don't know what the Green firm did, but they loaned their slaves out, and they loaned their slaves out to various people. And Nathan Green was loaned out. Nathan Nearest Green, that was the brother's name, Nathan Nearest Green. And he was known as a distiller. He was loaned out to a man by the name of Dan Call. Dan Call was a minister. Dan Call was a minister, and he was also a person who made sipping wine and sipping brandy, but most of all, sipping whiskey. So in that case, this minister was known to have some of the best whiskey in the state of Tennessee. And a young man by the name of Jack Daniels, Jasper Daniels to be exact, was a young boy, was about 12, 13 years old. And he wanted to learn the liquor trade. And Mr. Call said, the best person I have to train you on that won't be me, it will be Nearest Green. Nearest Green, they call him Uncle Nearest because that's what they call all old men. And I can't see how this guy was old, because he was only a couple years older than Jack Daniels. This is Jack Daniels. Says Tennessee whiskey. Right, Jack Daniels. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and pour it live on air and sip it. Yeah, smells nice. So that being said, this is what Tennessee sipping whiskey is about. So that being said, people came from miles around to see Uncle Nearest make this Tennessee whiskey. Nice. Some people prefer it with Coke. Some people prefer it on the rocks. Some people prefer it neat. Neat is, well, obviously not on the rocks, they're straight. So This took off, and it took off, and it took off, and it took off. But this man, Nearest, was enslaved. He was enslaved, and he wasn't beaten or anything like that we know anything about. But he was enslaved. There's no such thing as a slave that had it easy. He was enslaved, and he made money commercial. Made money commercial for the Jack Daniels Corporation. Years later, and I mean years later, like in 2016, it was discovered that, Uncle Nearest actually was a real live person who indeed trained Jack Daniels on how to make Tennessee sipping whiskey. And it took off. Now, where are we going with this? Now that we've had this drink, and now that we know that this has occurred, what has occurred is that Black people have traditionally been into the market of making other people money, and making other people money to great ends. Even during slavery, Black people made people money. And then even after slavery, obviously during slavery they made people money, but after slavery, Nearest Green stayed with Jack Daniels. He stayed with Jack Daniels, and when he stayed with Jack Daniels, he made more money for Jack Daniels. He stayed with Jack Daniels after the Emancipation Proclamation, and even brought his sons into the business. And people came from miles around to see and learn how to make Tennessee sipping whiskey from this former slave, this former human trafficked slave. But that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is that we still see the commercialization of Black people when we see that Black people want to cross over. They want to cross over, and they want to go ahead and get money. And in Jack Daniels' case, he took money from Uncle Nearest, never gave Uncle Nearest any credit whatsoever, to the point that only in 2016, within recent memory, that the Nearest Green family got their just dues. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But now we see this whole reflection of Jack Daniels, and you probably saw some of this on the shelves, like this here is Gentleman Jack. Gentleman Jack, which is the higher brand version of this aforementioned Black label that I showed you. But now the story has been flipped, and the story has been flipped now where Black people now are reclaiming their history. So they reclaim their history by saying, we own Uncle Nearest. You may own his recipe, but we own his birthright. So now, this is a new brand of liquor that's out now. Uncle Nearest. If you're in the liquor store, well, you won't find Uncle Nearest next to Jack Daniels because they're not the same company. Uncle Nearest, they reclaimed the name. It's a Black-owned company, Black female-owned company, with the descendants of Nathan Nearest Green. What that means, this is multi-generational wealth. Multi-generational wealth is very important because that way we're able to pass down not only our legacy, but also our dollars and our cents. Imagine, if you will, if Nathan Nearest Green had gotten credit for Jack Daniels, what his heirs would have received. Imagine. But instead they had to fight for the heirship. And even to the fact today, that you won't find Uncle Nearest next to Jack Daniels. Well, you found him when he was enslaved to Jack Daniels. But now that he's a free man and his descendants are free people of color, well, they're just another couple of feet down on another shelf. But they have reclaimed their name, and for what it's worth, we as a people have to reclaim our birthright, maybe one drink at a time. So here's to you, and here's to listening in, and here's to Uncle Nearest. I don't think I'll take any more sips out of that Jack. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.